Molly from paperbeadrollers.com. I have a confession. The beads in this necklace are the smallest paper beads I have ever made. And if you've ever made tiny little paper beads, you know they can be a little bit frustrating. Well, in this tutorial, I'll show you how to make these mini barrel beads and how to incorporate them into this fun 3-tiered necklace. But before we begin, please help me out, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the reminders so you don't miss a thing.
Here are the supplies you need for this project. Some fairly small chain. I'm using the rhodium chain from paperbeadrollers.com. It's 3x2 by 6 millimeter size. I had this pretty heart chain in my stash. It came from a craft store, but honestly, I've had it so long, I don't remember exactly where. And I'm using 49 strand stringing wire. You'll also need a clasp. Now, I've started using magnetic clasps on all of my jewelry. People are amazed when I tell them the beads are made from paper, and the magnetic clasp allows me to take the piece off quickly so they can get a closer look. The exact findings are up to you. You can switch them around to change the look, but here is what I'm using. 4 8mm round silver charms, 6mm daisy spacers, 4 small white pearl sheen beads, and 1 8mm. 4 very small jump rings. I have had these forever and they came in a variety pack, so I can't tell you the exact size, but these are very, very small. 2 crimp beads, 6 6mm jump rings. If you don't have these very tiny jump rings, you can use the 6mm instead. The tools you need are nippers to cut the chain, 2 sets of jewelry pliers, the exact type doesn't matter, and a crimping tool. You'll also need a small paper bead rolling tool. I'm using the green tool from paperbeadrollers.com, and the paper of your choice and the cutting method, scissors or a cutting board. You also need some white school glue. I find this type of bead the easiest to cut using my old guillotine cutter. I have had this thing since I was in college. It is so old. Line the paper up against the top rail so it stays straight, and we're just going to cut rectangle strips. Very small rectangle strips. Now, I didn't mark the measurements on the paper because I want each bead to be a slightly different width. This makes it go very fast. Now we just need to cut the strips to 3-inch lengths. I just lay them across and move them down 3 inches each time to get a perfect cut. All right, grab your glue and your paper bead roller and let's roll. Slide the strip into the slot. Just remember the free end is the one that will show when the bead is finished, so make sure that's the color or design that you want to show. As you roll, keep the strip lined up to itself. We're just making a teeny little barrel, which means the sides of the bead are completely straight. So it's going to look best if you can roll it straight while it's on your tool, but if not, you can always make some adjustments afterward to get it to line up. Put some glue on the end and hold it in place until it sticks. With the white school glue, it only takes a few seconds. Glazing tiny paper beads is difficult. Get a very, very small paintbrush. Make sure you smooth the glaze so it doesn't leave any bumps. Cover the sides of the beads as well. You don't need to worry about the inside of the bead. Now, it's hard to not get this glaze on the toothpick, so to keep the beads from sticking, you can rub the sticks on a candle prior to putting the beads on it, and that will make it slick with wax so that the beads don't stick. Now that your beads are made, let's string the necklace. We'll start by crimping one end of an 8-inch piece of beading wire. Slip your crimp on and loop the wire around and back through the crimp. Make your loop as small as possible. The smaller it is, the better your end result. start with one small pearl bead and a daisy spacer. Now choose 4 paper beads of varying widths and colors. The design is totally up to you. Then add a daisy spacer, a small pearl bead, and another daisy spacer. Okay, do another 4 paper beads. And here we're at the center of the design, so we're going to use the larger pearl bead between the 2 daisy spacers. Now we're on the second side, so we're going to do the same thing. 4 paper beads, the small pearl bead between the 2 daisy spacers, and another 4 paper beads. And then we'll finish with 1 daisy spacer and a small pearl bead. Now we can crimp the end, and this section is ready. Time to assemble your necklace. I cut 2 10-inch sections of the small rhodium chain. You'll need a 6-inch section of the heart chain and 2 8mm jump rings. Open a jump ring. You're going to string onto it the paper bead string, the heart chain, and 1 of the small chains. Close that jump ring up tight. Open your second jump ring, and you're going to put on the other end of that paper bead section, the other end of the heart section, and the last section of small chain. Then close that jump ring so it's tight. Now for the last piece. I cut an 18-inch section of the small chain, and I put a jump ring in the exact center of the chain. It's not going to stay there. I'm just using it to mark the center of the chain so I can attach my spacers correctly. Attach the charms on either side of your marker, 3 links from the marker. Now you're going to add 1 more spacer on each side, 6 links out from the previous spacer. So you'll get 4 charms in total with 6 links between each charm. In order to be spaced properly, it must be attached to the first chain about 1.5 inches down from the clasp. Open an 8mm jump ring and measure 1.5 inches from the end of this chain. Add the last link of the charm chain and a link 1.5 inches from the end of the first chain. Do the same thing on the other side. Now all that's left is adding the clasp. We'll use an 8mm jump ring to attach the clasp to either end of the chain. We did it! Now you have a fun, flirty, 3-tiered necklace. Thanks for joining me on this tutorial. Hey, before you go, how about joining us over in the Paper Bead Fanatics Facebook group? We'd love to see what you're making. Happy rolling!